Cracker Jack's going to his new home.
Painted sky in a sunset scene through the window of a GMC. White lines and lighted signs got me hypnotized. There's nothing like the feel of a road and the smell of the diesel smoke. Another 10 or 20 miles, I'll be pulling in. This thing.
So let's get this show on the road, shall we?
13 years of just laying it down, driving my GMC. Yeah, you know what I mean.
So Cracker Jack's going to his new home. I had my fun with him. I made him a ton better than when he came. And now somebody else gets to enjoy him. That's what it's all about. These old trucks, enjoying them. That's why I love them all. Grasshoppers coming inside, finally. Swing it over. Okay, let me look.
It moved a little bit.
Yeah, it moved about an inch. Maybe just a hair more. Okay. Yep, that'll do it. That did.
A little smoother than the last time.
Yeah. That'll do it.
Gives you a little bit of room up here to work now. You actually got more room than you did last time.
Yeah, I can get through there. And then when we tilt the cab, we should be able to tilt it pretty far. All right, guys and gals and guys. Welcome back to Dane Scott's Truckers Lounge. Today is a momentous day because Grasshopper has finally graduated and made it into the lounge inside. I am so stoked to finally be able to pick up the pace again on this K100. 1966, everything is here. A complete truck, doesn't need any parts. That's one of the selling points of it, and I've got the panels for this because I fixed that. You guys know that. All the interior is there, just it's got to be redone. I don't need to go searching for any parts for this truck. What I do have to do is fix the cab jack first so that we can once again tilt the cab and get back to the engine to see if we can get it running. I have a big backup plan going on with engine and cutoffs, but I don't want to jump to all that unless I have to. So I guess this will be the third or fourth installment on Grasshopper, but so stick around town because it's going to get interesting. This video is brought to you by BRUNT, transforming high-performance workwear. Ain't no sandals in this here work truck. Okay, so we're starting in the interior, of course. Lots of dirt, but I wanted to make sure that these gauges would come clean with steel wool. And look at that. Oh yeah. Not done with this one yet. I'll go some more, but everything's cleaning up pretty good. There's that gauge. I gotta hit the rest yet, but going across the panel here. And everything up top. Okay. A lot of dirt is coming off. So, yeah. Gonna be a lot of cleaning to do, but hey, it's gonna come off. She's gonna look like $1 million. Okay, so since this is exposed up here, I think I want to see if the horns will blow, just for fun. Okay, well, let's take this fitting out. That ain't gonna work. Well, okay, maybe we won't take the fitting out. Let's put this back on here. All right, let's see what happens here. Nope, nothing. In my, what I call my experimental stage. When I bring a truck in, I kind of go crazy with doing things all over to see what works. Things with steel wool, things with sandpaper, things with oil or lubricating things, or just a myriad of things, because my attention is everywhere on, you know, when I got a whole truck to do. So I started in the interior here, and I wanted to show you how this pays off. I mean, we're already getting some pretty nice looking gauges with steel wool. I mean, look at the turn signal leather. That all came off with steel wool. Working on that. So I was also thinking I'm going to have to, you know, replace this wheel. They do make a retro wheel, but I decided to start messing around with sandpaper, and it's smooth, nice and smooth. So I am going to restore this. That'll save me $350. That's what those wheels cost. So there's a savings right there. I'm going to fix this wheel. I'm going to sand it down, and I'll either clear it or paint it. It's kind of sanding down to the original bone color. Yeah, I'll either clear it or paint it bone. But and as far as the cracks go, I'll get some epoxy, kind of like that JB Weld stuff that you knead together and you put around here nice and hard, and then you sand it smooth. So I probably will have to paint, I would imagine. But anyways, there you go. So even there, you know. So just playing around with different things. I ripped down the curtain that goes across there, and it's still intact, brittle as it is, but it's still intact enough that I can take it to the upholsterer and say, make me one of these. Those headlight bezels already look better. Crazy. It's just crazy what a little cleaning up does for looks, but obviously it's not all looks, but that's a big part of it. So until we can address the hinge and then get to the engine, I'm going to be working my butt off on looks, interior, getting all the crap out of there, getting it cleaned up, whatever I got to do to get rolling. So look at all that crap. Oh my gosh. Whatever lived in here was probably a raccoon, but there was definitely Mises in here. Look at this garbage, and I've pulled out. I mean, this thing was packed. So yeah, how do you like them apples? So I'm gonna vacuum that up, and when we hooked this up to a battery and we tried to start it, we got no power up here. So I imagine we're gonna find some wires chewed in here. So I gotta clean this mess up first, and then we'll see what the power deal is. Okay, part of my experimentation. Look at that. Yeah, I love these 80-gallon tanks. They're pretty, I think they're pretty common. International used them, and they even sell, I think, generic 80-gallon tanks. But what I may do on this one, I mean, it's only going to come so good, but geez, it's going to be great. That whole tank's going to buff up nice. I may put that one over on the passenger side, because that's a steel tank. So I may get rid of that one, move this one to the other side, and then I'll get a new one for this side. So yeah, that's that. And man, I wish this bumper wasn't so beat up. Even if it could be beat out, I mean, it's pretty bad. And then you've got the rust things to deal with. I mean, it could only be painted, but it evidently, it originally was chrome. Crazy. But I can't save this. Just can't save it. I don't believe. I might be able to hammer it out with, I don't know. It would have to be painted though. And yesterday, Sunday, I got a little more cleaning done. Got the pad all secured back. I got these buffed off a little bit anyways and put back on, and got me some painting done. Yeah. What I'm thinking of for the doghouse and for the door panels and everything in here, I'm going to get some diamond quilted dark brown vinyl. They call it coffee. And then the lighter brown, and then the real dark coffee brown with the white stitching and the diamonds. Yeah, that'll be cool. And look at here, we got us a polished battery cover. This was a, I don't know what you call it, interstate special. Mr. Wizard saw it on the interstate one time, several years ago. I mean, he gave me that when I had the Brigadier. He found it along the interstate and stopped and picked it up. And look, it stinking fits. I just gotta remove this step, or I may just cut so that that goes down further, and then I can keep the step on there or put a new one. But yeah, how about that? A polished battery cover already. Grasshopper is going to be pimping. You watch and see. Okay, one thing about these vintage trucks that I love and is always a major consideration when I do a truck is I love the old ivory bone colored steering wheels. And this one was pretty nasty, you may recall. And it was just pretty much sun dried, or, you know, this truck sat for 45 years. It was parked in 1978. So that's 22 years, and 23, 45 years. At least where I went to school. So anyways, this was pretty rough. So you can see how much better it already is by using, what grit did I use? I used a 100 to start with, and now I'm going to go to 220, and then we'll see from there. And I will probably end up painting this bone color, ivory bone. So yeah, the original steering wheel is going to look awesome. Of course, it's going to look awesome with the original horn button and the crooked KW. Vintage. Old school, baby. Girls and boys, here's where we're at on this cab support. This is what we're talking about. See how that was? So we've gotten everything disconnected pretty much. And the bolts from the floor above, and two of them are being ornery, so of course we're gonna have to burn them off. But then that whole thing should come down as one piece. And then we'll have another one made. So here it is, out of the truck. Look at that garbage. Geez, it only lasted 4 to 70, 34 and 23, 57 years. Jeez. They just don't make stuff like they used to. This piece was actually broke off of this end as well. This is the part here that goes up under the cab, and that goes down to the hinge. So I'm going to have the whole thing made, and we'll get her on there. Look at how nice that tank's going to come when I finish that. That's going to look good. And just tomorrow we'll get the rest of it out right here at the bottom. We'll mess with that and get that out of there. Then we can put that piece with these pieces. See, that's where it broke off from. Let's see if I can get some light up here. These, from what I could see, pistons look pretty good. These back ones looked a little dry, but really nothing's dropped. And let's see if I can get you in here. So it don't look too bad in there. See if I can get you over in here. There's that one. And the front one. So the other side, this side, the driver's side, looks as good or even better inside the airbox there, and the liners and everything. So this might have had a recent in-frame before it was parked. Remember, I just said that we were going to take the rest of that hinge out today. Well, that ended up being 5 hours of work. It did not want to come out. Fought us tooth and nail and claw. So, but we won. We win around here, you know. I'm going to help you see this. Now, it would have been easier to get this out if Kenworth had decided to bolt this piece on instead of welding everything, but couldn't take it off. But we got it out, so there's where we be. That's where that hinge is going to go. And the good news on the engine is, remember I just showed you how good those liners looked? I talked to the guy that owned it since 77, he said he bought it. The original owner had it from 66 to 77, and he bought it from him. They worked in the same company, and so he knows about this truck anyways. So he told me that right before he bought it, that the original owner did an in-frame, and he only put like 10 to 15,000 miles on the truck after he bought it, and he parked it in 79 because he wasn't happy with the Carter administration and fuel prices. So it was parked since then, and it ran, I think he said a friend borrowed it like maybe in 82 or 3 or sometime in early 80s. And then it sat. In the early 90s, he tried to start it again, and it started to run away, and they were already pulling it to start it in 5th gear, and when it started, it tried to run away, so he just braked it right down and shut it off. So, and also the 13-speed was rebuilt by him. He had it rebuilt when he bought it from the original owner. So technically, this engine and drivetrain should be pretty darn good. So we got to figure out why it's binding and go from there. So I'm excited and looking forward to that. I have set the support back in place with a couple bolts just so I would know what I've got to do down here to get the measurement for the piece that was all cut up and broken, so that I can have an accurate read on what's got to happen here at the end of the hinge. So not too bad. I can pretty well measure from that. And then this piece up here, I think I told you, broke. It's supposed to go back to here. So I have that piece, so no problem. So I can take this to the fabricator and have a new one made and go right down there. And then we'll put a spacer between this. This will be kind of like a down like this. So there'll be a spacer in between it. And we'll put a grease fitting somehow down here. I don't know how we're going to do that yet, but we'll figure that out. Yep. So can you imagine though trying to order this part from Kenworth? Well, it can't be done, but I will tell you that for some reason, I think later on, this is a 66, but I think later on the K100s went to a bolt-on bottom hinge right here instead of welding onto the frame. I think they went to a bolt-on one because when I ran the part number that they gave me to look for that, because they said they didn't have any, it comes back to a hinge piece like that one right there, unless that one is to be welded on too. I don't know, but the price for that on the internet, I found one on eBay for $700 and some odd, and another one from another company for $1,003. It's like, nope, not happening. So can you imagine what this whole brace support would cost? Unbelievable. Yeah. So I'm going to get my measurements, get this off of here, and get it to the fabricator. Okay, so that's going to be a wrap. This video is a little long, so I'm not going to have room for scriber rides and announce the shows that will be coming up after spring. So I'll get that in the next one, because I don't want to keep you guys too long, because your time's important too. So listen, make sure that you subscribe, like the videos, of course watch them. The longer you watch them, the better it is to build the channel, and then comment down below. So listen, until next time, make sure you keep the hammer down, safe and sound. Ready to rock there, Colombo?
Yeah, thank you.